You know, if there's one lie I think the self-improvement community has been telling us over the last few years, it's the idea that being alone or being lonely is somehow empowering. There are videos all over YouTube that talk about the idea about why being alone is awesome and why friends will only let you down or only be a distraction. You know, true Sigmas don't have friends, they grind and hustle. This is the one thing that I genuinely believe is just a flat-out lie. And I mean, think about it. When did having friends and social circles become something that is no longer viewed as positive or no longer necessary? And this is something that even I, back in 2020, subscribed to as just a God-given truth that, you don't need friends, that being alone actually makes you stronger, it makes you a real man or something. And looking back on that, I simply don't entirely believe that is true. I believe that all of us need friends, we need social circles, we need people in our lives who care about us. And I mean, I understand up until a point what some of these people are talking about, because let's face it, no matter who your friends are or how much they care about you, no one is coming to save you. No one is coming to fix your life. No one can fix your life other than you. I understand that truth. But I also believe that it's the idea that we don't need friends, that we don't need social circles in our lives is bollocks. I believe we need people in our lives. We need people who care. I mean, look at your childhood. I'm sure anyone out there who had that best friend or had friends growing up, if you don't have friends now, you miss that time. You miss that part of your life. And this idea that you don't need friends in your 20s or your adult years, like, where did that idea even come from? And this was kind of a realization that hit me the other day as I was looking through YouTube and just seeing all these videos in my feed about how, different people are like, I'm in such and such year of my life and I have no friends or I have nothing going for me. And while there's a lot of things in my life I still am struggling to accomplish or to set out my own goals and do, having friends fortunately is one area of my life that I have still managed to hold on to and still managed to have friendships from high school. And I'm realizing that's actually pretty uncommon looking at social media and life in general, because there's a lot of people who are alone now, who have little to no friends, or maybe they have friends but not really true friends who actually care about them, just co-workers and acquaintances they maybe know the names of and ask casual questions, but they never have any deep or meaningful conversations. And like I already previously said, I understand the concept of being alone and self-discipline, because that is definitely important. No one can fix your life. If you want to improve, that's something you have to set out to do, because no one is coming to save you. No friend, no matter how much they like you, no family member, no one is fixing your life except for you. You have to fix your own life. But this idea that you don't need friends, that you're perfectly fine alone, is, in my opinion, it's cope. Because I believe we need friends. We need people who care about us. We need people to talk through our problems with and to lift each other up and, just to have fun times with. That is a noisy truck. Just thinking about this, it's something that genuinely boggles my mind that so many people genuinely believe this. That, I don't need friends. I'm perfectly fine alone. And that for me is like, it's a lie. That I genuinely, in my opinion, I believe it's a lie. Maybe some people are perfectly fine alone. And, I tried to tell myself I was perfectly fine back during lockdown. But the truth is, looking back, I value having friends because they are important, for the good times and the bad. It's kind of hit me the other day, because around last Thanksgiving, one of my friends and I would decide to go and hit the gym together. And as we were just going through the different exercises for leg day, the two of us just kind of talked back and forth for like an hour and a half in between sets. And we talked about a lot of different things, the highs and lows of our life, the, struggles we had gone through, and just areas of our life that we wanted to improve as we went into the new year. And just talking back and forth like this, it kind of made me realize, oh dang, some days I'm only ever focused on my struggles. I don't stop to think that, so-and-so is struggling with theirs. Hearing somebody genuinely, discuss their own flaws or insecurities they had, and then me looking at them and never even thinking that was an insecurity for them, it really opened my eyes. Maybe I just need to stop worrying so much and just enjoy life. And just conversations like these I never would have alone. But I guess I'm getting a little off track. I don't believe in subscribing to the idea that, loneliness and being alone is like this ultimate power move. Now, just to reiterate what I already said, I do believe there are some things in your life you have to endure alone. And especially if you're someone who's, like me, going on a self-improvement journey, you're going to be alone probably 90 to 95% of that journey. Because let's face it, you can't always have other people encouraging you and picking you up. You have to have self-discipline and set out there and do your own goals and hold yourself accountable. Alright, but I still think that having friendships and having positive people in your life is a must. And my mental health has gotten a lot better ever since lockdown when I started making new friendships. So don't subscribe to this idea that being alone is a must, that you don't need friends. Because let me tell you something, your life will change for the better when you have genuine friendships, when you have people genuinely helping you, and vice versa too. Don't just take advantage of your friendships, be a positive force for them too. But don't subscribe to this idea that being alone is the only route in your life, because it's not. You can have friendships, and that's going to be a lot harder, especially once you're out of high school. If you're someone who's in high school, take advantage of that. Make friendships, talk to people. It's scary, I know, but not all of my friendships started with me talking to someone, but the ones that did are the ones that tend to stick. And not everyone's going to be your friend. Some people are jerks, and especially when you hit your 20s, it's harder making friends. It's harder to get out there and talk to people. But making genuine friendships that are in person and not just online, it's a life-changing element for sure. So don't subscribe to this idea that being alone is the ultimate power move, because it's not. You need friendships in your life. You need people who care. You need people. Alright? So don't subscribe to this idea. Don't fall for the loneliness copium. Alright? We all are going to have times when we're alone, and there's value in that too. Like I'm out here walking alone. Alright? But you don't need to be alone your entire life. And especially, I think, as you get into your 20s, you actually need friends more now than ever before. In high school, you might know everyone through school or something like that, but as you get into your 20s, this is something you actually need to work at to maintain those friendships. Because life gets busy, and people, they move on, and especially if you don't keep up to date, if you don't keep, connected with people, you're going to grow distant. So get out there. Don't subscribe to this idea. Don't be alone. And if you think loneliness or being alone is harmless, just Google up the side effects of being alone and isolation. It's scary, man. So don't subscribe to this, okay? Go out there, make some friends. If you have any questions or anything like that, comment them down below. But yeah, this is Jimmy signing out.